All that linking up, man. I'm gonna see ya when I see ya. What's up, my dudes? We got the Texas Playoff Round 2 on MX Simulator right here. Not RF official track, okay? But something kind of sort of similar, alright? Apparently, it's the same track maker. I don't know. There's 69,000 track makers. Who gives a shit, okay? But I just talk about what I see on these tracks. You know what I'm saying? That's it. It's simple. Simple shit, brother. Okay? So, yeah, with this round 2 specifically, I feel like there's certain aspects of this one that are definitely better than the first playoff round that they made. This one does feel a little bit more RF-y, and that first playoff round felt a little bit more EMF-y. You know what I'm saying? If you played this game long enough, you'll know exactly what the hell I'm talking about, but just because I say this one's more RF-y doesn't necessarily mean it's the best kind of RF track design, because I really don't think it's like that. This is more like your worst kind of RF design, you know, more like that 2019 style built around the road. It's impossible to wreck on the jumps, impossible to pop off unless you do that right there, fifth tapped into the finish line. That's the only way you're popping off, boys. That's the only way. So yeah, T-Sippers, I mean, I do feel like this track was a little bit more flow vibe than the first playoff round. And by the way, the reason why I'm checking out these tracks so much later than when they happened in real life is because they're actually making them a week later, or coming out with them a week later than they normally would. Like a regular RF track comes out a week before the real life one. But for whatever reason, they're doing these a week after, okay? So that's why it's taking me a little more time to check them out. They'll be having that Las Vegas finale one coming out like tonight, I think. So I'll try to make a video on that one too. But yeah, there's just something about this track. I don't know. I mean, trust me, I understand even with the real life SuperMotocross tracks, they're kind of weird. They're kind of, you know, this one had like a real dry, hard packy. A lot of the dudes just didn't even like the track in real life. So I don't know if RF's trying to, well, I say RF. Y'all motherfuckers making this shit, not RF, but it's kind of RF and it's kind of the people, but it's not RF. Why the hell did y'all do that? I don't know. But anyways, you know, I don't know if that was y'all's goal to make, you know, a lot of the riders not really love the track. I mean, listen, if this was my first month playing this game, I would probably love a track like this. But, and it's like, yeah, I guess I do have to give them some credit here because there are some ruts in the corners. There is some pre-made going on. You know, there is some roughness. Right, it does somewhat match the real life layout and shit, and they haven't been doing the actual SuperMotocross tracks for that long, so I kind of have to, you know, look at it like that, I guess. I have to gauge it in a different kind of way, but, you know, the Galaxy Boy's still gonna keep it 100 with you. That's the whole problem with it. The ruts are not big enough. The jumps are not big enough, and at the end of the day, you just start to get more into that smoothed off, rolled off kind of vibe than you do what the full potential of the track could have been. And even if you're talking about like the RF Daytona in 2024, I feel like that track was twice as good as this one. So it's not like they're not capable of making a Speedway style, you know, a good Speedway style type hybrid style track. I mean, I felt like their Daytona this year was pretty decent, honestly. I mean, it's pretty good. But like this track right here ain't even close to that shit. That's how you know this track right here is just off. There's just something off about it, bro. So yeah, I do remember them sort of talking about the deformation in the actual pro race, the Erode system, talking about it's aces. Well, yeah, I would hope so. You've been doing it for 7 years in the game. I would hope it's good. Yeah. The problem with this track, though, is, you know, they sacrificed every sort of other element to the track, whether that's rut size, jump size, softness to the dirt, you know. They sacrifice all that to make the Erode system 10% better. And I'll agree with you, the Erode was probably better on this track, right? It kind of made more of the braking bumps going into the corner and whatever, but like, that's only better for when you're, you know, 10 plus laps deep with a full gate in an actual pro race. But any other time, whether that's qualifying single player, just getting on there with 2 or 3 of your buddies, doing a little 6-lap online race, it's gonna feel like a basic as fuck, amateur, smoothed off, rolled off, impossible to crash, no separation, you know, micro rut simulator. That's what it's gonna feel like 90% of the time that you're on the track. That's been my whole argument from day one. You have to sacrifice so much for that Erode system to be a smidgen better. You know, it's almost like more worth it to lower the deformation level and not build the track so much around it, aka like, for instance, their Glendale Supercross this year. You know, that track didn't feel like it was built around the deformation system. Felt more like a classic big jump, big rhythms. It didn't feel like that weird, purposeful, let's smooth everything off, let's make it where Jimmy, Bobby, Bob, Sue, Jim, Bobby can hit every rhythm on the track with their eyes closed and they're lifting in their left hand, okay? This track feels like that. Like, it just feels like anybody could hit these jumps. Look how small this triple is, dog. You know, this is getting back into that 1-to-1 scaling. Like this rhythm right here, you could case those jumps as hard as you could possibly imagine. And you would have to literally basically be running a stock setup for it to cause you to wreck on it. Like, that's the only way you're going to wreck on it. I don't know. This track's kind of weird like that. It's got that softness to it, you know. And that's always the balance. You're juggling that tile info feeling of the dirt. Because, you know, the way the deformation system works on sim, it's like you have to make it softer and softer and softer, otherwise it's just gonna make it janky as shit. Problem with that is, then every track becomes a soft land on a cloud. It doesn't give you that full supercross hard pack landing or coming up short on a jump. This track right here just does not capture that, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Okay, so at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you can say this track's better in some ways than the first playoff round. You could say this, you could say that, but anytime I get on a track where it feels like it's impossible to wreck on a jump, and it's like I'm literally quarter throttle on the bike to get over a jump, that to me just ain't it. It just ain't it. I don't know how any other way to explain it, but I mean, if I'm quarter throttle and I'm casing shit, feels like I'm landing on clouds, that's just not really a pro level track to me. That right there, for instance, look at that. I mean, I don't know how much more come up short. Like, dog, I'm like, hit my front end sideways right on the face of that. Literally turning. I'm fucking landing in a whip. You can land damn near full whip, front wheel not even straight, and it's like you bounced off of the tiniest little roller in the game. These are not pro level jumps, and or it's not pro level tile info, aka hard enough dirt characteristics to be considered pro level. Even these roller, what the hell are you gonna call these rollers? The fuck even are these, bros? Might as well should have just been a straight area, flat area. I don't know why I'm saying straight, flat area, fuck. But like, homie, this just ain't it, homie. Like, oh, lordy. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Track kind of looks like it's from 1997. I mean, 2007. It's just, you know, and if you're more of an AM in this game, you're going to love something like this because you're going to be a lot closer in lap times to the pros. You're going to feel like you can vibe and jive around the track easier. Yeah, because it's an AM track. You know, it's like what they get caught up in is they end up making amateur tracks that somewhat turn into a pro level track 15 laps into a pro race, when the reality is they should be making a pro track that just gets a little bit harder of a pro track 15 laps into a main event. Do you see the difference there?